onto your butt.
Wait a minute, Doc.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Hold up just a minute. This is Chase with Kyle and Andrew, and Kyle's been watching a lot of Hallmark movies recently. It's that time of year. You love those movies, right, Kyle?
I've never heard of that channel, nor do I watch it.
Oh, Kyle, you told me the other night that you have just become so overwhelmed with the spirit of Christmas that you subjected yourself to a Hallmark movie a day.
Yes, but what I said was the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of God.
Hallmark has that.
I know, which is why I was surprised I'd never heard of it before.
We understand that a Hallmark movie comes out like one every 10 minutes or so, especially around this time of year when it's just nothing but trash and Christmas movies. So we decided on Hold Up today, we're going to make our own Hallmark Christmas movie. It seems easy, right, Andrew?
Oh, it's going to be a breeze, and it's going to end up perfectly.
We're going to go ahead and set this up. Andrew, give me a setting. Obviously, this is a Christmas movie, so it's going to take place at Christmas, but give me a setting.
Do you want just one setting? Because I feel like these movies have like multiple settings that can join into one.
If you're looking, let's just say you use the U.S., for example. You just say the Midwest.
I was going to say Moline, Illinois.
Hey, there you go.
Farmland, baby.
Okay.
That's like the home setting right there.
Okay, that's where these characters live.
Moline, Illinois. That's
Setting.
we got to do a couple other ones.
Okay, where do these characters end up?
I think we should do one in like Vancouver.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Travel internationally.
And then there's got to be like another
Like
main...
a more exotic destination.
Yeah, where, Kyle?
Are you telling me
probably-
that Moline, Illinois is not that an exotic destination?
No.
That's milquetoast.
I would say if we're trying to get really exotic, we can just say the surface of Mars.
I'm going to put an asterisk by that one. But
the surface of Mars, so Moab, Utah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We'll see how it ties together. We'll let it happen. All right, Kyle, give me a female lead.
She's a very tall Nordic woman named Torg.
A very tall Nordic woman. Can you give me a little bit about her personality? She's tall.
She's tall. That influences
Like
the way
6'7"?
she looks at things. So she thinks that she can literally see better than she can. So she's incredibly farsighted.
How tall is Tor?
She's 6'6".
Okay.
She's tall. Like she's
right.
tall. She could pick you up and cradle you like a baby, like you like.
Okay.
So she's very reserved but outspoken about her job, and she's a server. So she doesn't talk to anybody when she's off the clock, but when she's serving at this diner, because I've decided that's where she works now.
That's all I need.
Yeah, so she's very in her job, she would be very like, oh my gosh, I love oh my gosh, I love talking to you. I love talking to you.
And then as she's leaving, she puts her headphones in.
She does.
Okay.
And then not even her headphones. She just like a robot, she switches off.
Interesting.
So she doesn't have any kind of like attachment to anything but her job.
All right, Andrew.
So she doesn't know about Christmas. She doesn't know about that shit.
Andrew, give me a male lead.
All right, so Brett lives in Vancouver. And just like Torg, he works in the service industry. He's a bartender at some restaurant that specializes in giving you tarot cards with your drinks.
Oh, like a fancy cocktail. Like you're paying like $18.
Like the place is called like Death and Company or something.
Yeah,
I have a very important question.
Yeah.
Does he wear fedoras like seriously?
No, but he wears beanies.
He has
He has a beanie.
Yeah.
It's folded up.
Like, are you talking about like the old 20s ones? Or are you talking about like the old ones? Or are you talking about like a literal like
No, I'm
cap?
talking like
a cap.
I'm talking like hipster Brooklyn beanie, like snow, like ski
I'm
cap.
gonna add on to this, and when he goes to work, he wears the white long sleeve button up with the suspenders, and they're like connected to his blue.
And he's wearing the plaid shirt underneath with a white.
Yeah, and he's always got mountain boots on.
But he drives a Prius.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
No
he
offense
cares,
to Prius drivers.
He really cares about the environment. That's one of the reasons he got away. He's from America, but he left America to get to a cleaner and safer spot. But he's got a big bushy beard and long hair.
Does he wear glasses? But he doesn't need the glasses.
He doesn't need them, but he wears them.
There's no
to practice-
lenses in them.
He left America because he was sick of the capitalism and whatnot, and wanted to go to a place that, you know, capitalism doesn't exist in Vancouver, at least in his mind. And he's just very negative and argumentative about most things and stubborn, incredibly stubborn. Write that down. That's important.
Stubborn.
He's stubborn.
Okay.
Not the greatest, but he does make a nice Manhattan, and that's about it.
A $20 Manhattan.
Yep.
All right, give me 4 supporting characters. Kyle, give me 2 of them. Remember, we have 2 insufferable characters already, so we need some Christmas cheer with this.
So I think Torg has a really downtrodden apartment, but she spends all of her money on her fish enclosure, like an aquarium. So
I think we've set ourselves up for success here.
I think it can only go well.
Are you about to say the fish or the supporting characters?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Fish,
not 2 of them, just one. They're a conglomerate of fish folk.
A school.
A school of fish. They obviously are fish brained, so they don't have any like cognizant real thoughts. But like they're there for her, she thinks. Everything from the beta fish to she has a carp. She has a couple.
I think we've got what we need.
I don't think you do. But her second. Okay, so let me finish. The second supporting character is Brett's. What was it? The 2006 Honda Civic.
Something like that.
He has a very, very fond relationship with that car, and he says it's going to be a classic.
And
soon.
what is that car's name?
Josephine.
Yep.
So
Like
Brett's
Napoleon.
car.
He says just like Napoleon's Josephine.
I'm going to add a character in here.
I have-
I'm going to add Marv, the owner of the diner that Torg works at. He is about mid-60s, kind of a rough guy. He's been around the streets a little bit. He moved to, we didn't even say where Torg is living. I'm going to say Moline, Illinois. And he owns this diner, and all he wants for Torg is to get out of this town. That's his one dream in life. He's missing a leg, too.
From what?
Type 2 diabetes.
He's dialysis. I don't
he's
need it.
always wearing a white apron from the diner, and it's always stained with like gravy. And he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow no matter what time of day, and he could just shave, and it's automatically there. And the only thing he looks forward to during the day is right at 3:30 when he can go out back and smoke a pack of cigarettes.
Wow,
Fuck yeah.
that's a lot.
Wife left him in '84. Hasn't been the same since.
All right.
I'm not going to lie.
But it has a heart of gold.
The image that I have of this man is that of Dax in the second Star Wars prequel, The Clone Wars, when he talks to that guy in the diner. You know what I'm
that's
talking
Marv.
About? That's what.
That's
the thing,
Marv.
just with less arms and like missing a leg, and he's like, "Yeah, my dream is for you to get out of here.
Yep, that's it.
I just want you to be happy."
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple.
Except this guy's all Midwest accent.
So similar to Torg's manager.
Keep in mind, we were
Marv.
talking about supporting characters, and Kyle listed 2 items. And
No, Chase. One is an item. The other's a living creature. You filth.
a school
You
of
scumbag.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Are you kidding me?
Didn't really compute. All right, so much like Marv has a relationship with Torg in the sense that it's her manager, Atlas is Brett's manager.
Atlas.
This cocktail bar.
Is it going to be Brett's like tattoo artist?
He definitely is a tattoo artist on the side.
Atlas.
He's got arm sleeves up and down. He's got tattoos all over his bald head. He's always challenging Brett to refine his craft because they don't expect anything less than his best at this bar. Always trying to, inspire him to create new recipes and new drinks and maybe new bar menu food items.
Is Atlas a good dude?
Not really. I mean, he's not a
We
bad
have
dude.
So many insufferable.
He's not a bad dude. He's just really, he sees the world in black and white. Okay. It's really aggressive.
Which is different than Brett, who sees it in like a lot of different ways.
Oh, many moving parts. Brett is very intricate and misunderstood, whereas Atlas is on or off, hot or cold.
Okay.
And Atlas is a man of a few words, but you listen when he speaks because he has profound wisdom.
Gotcha.
But he smokes Camel Blues, and honestly, Brett dresses to be Atlas. This guy is usually wearing black, like head to toe. Suspenders, doesn't own a pair of anything but like shiny loafers.
Does he have one of those mustaches?
Yes, it's oiled and it twirls. And he definitely wears a fedora. Usually
He
wears
does
like
wear a fedora.
3-piece suits as well.
But he like wears the pants, the shirt, and the vest, and like it's like a tweed vest or
But
something.
above all, Atlas he's a creative. And he's
Yeah,
very
and
creative.
Atlas is not his real name. He changed
No.
that. Yeah.
His real name
is
is like
Greg.
Greg Tarson the Third or something.
All right.
Atlas.
Any more supporting characters?
Yeah, Officer Krumke.
Dear
He's the
Officer
chief of police
Krumke.
of Moline,
Are you
Illinois.
kidding me? You taking that from West Side Story?
Story,
You
yes.
fucking idiot.
He's a jolly fellow. He loves to sing. Loves to sing.
Yeah, I bet.
Loves to dance.
All right, that's it for that one.
No. He's loved by all in Moline. He is like Moline's mayor, but not really. He is the most important figure in Moline.
How
Is
many
that
people
because of his-
live in Moline, Illinois? Do you,
It's not that small. It's right across the river from, I think, Dubuque, Iowa.
That's annoying.
It's probably a town of like 40 or 50,000, maybe a little
Okay.
less.
All
So
right.
it's actually
Kyle, do you want to add another supporting character?
who lives in Utah?
No one, yeah. So add a supporting character from Utah.
It's going to be Torg's well put together but very quirky aunt.
And she's Mormon
She is Mormon, but she's like into that Santa Fe
What's-
kind of lifestyle.
what's her name?
in Moab.
In Moab. Her name?
Yeah.
Patricia.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, we got our characters. So next up is what's the theme of this? The social theme.
Ooh.
I think it has to be.
Something in the form of Christmas if we're making a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Not inflation.
Inflation around the Christmas.
No, I think it should be like unexpected love or something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because all those Hallmark movies are the same theme. Why do we?
Why would we venture away from
No,
that?
we can't.
No.
All right, now the next step is the conflict.
I feel like there's an airport involved here because things happen at
You got
airports.
Vancouver International. You got Moab. And then you got Dubuque.
Does
Dubuque,
Moline have an international airport?
Dubuque Moline probably has a nice little continental airport. I think Brett has to get away from Vancouver because he's originally from America. I think he needs to get back to his Midwestern roots because that's where he's from, like nearby Michigan or something.
What if I throw you a curveball? Atlas is diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, shit.
There's got to be
Fuck.
somebody has to get cancer in this.
No, we're not doing cancer.
We could give Atlas cancer. we could say that's...
Testicular cancer.
Yeah, but why would that get Brett out of Vancouver?
Because the only thing holding him in Vancouver right now is his love for Atlas. Atlas dies or is at least incapacitated with cancer, and it gives him a chance to go back home because he's like, oh, I've forsaken my family in Moline, Illinois.
Yeah, he's not from Michigan. He's from Iowa. He's across the river.
Yeah.
But
But his parents have moved there, and he has lost touch with them. And now seeing that this father figure of his passing away, makes him want to go see his parents for Christmas.
so he just moves back.
I wouldn't say he moves back. I just say he
He
goes
just goes
back
to visit for like an
Christmas.
extended stay. He's
Yeah.
there for like 2 weeks plus.
Right. And Atlas goes off to Switzerland for cancer treatment.
Yep.
So he's out of the picture. So now he feels alone on the holidays. And he's like, well, damn, I saw this father figure of mine, get testicular cancer.
Yeah.
I need to go check on my actual
So
dad.
he doesn't fly from Vancouver International. He drives with Josephine, his
Yeah.
Civic or what
His
do you-
Civic.
Yeah, Civic, all the way to fucking.
He doesn't even get all the way because Josephine kicks the bucket.
Absolutely.
That's
She
right.
does. She
She
dies.
kicks the
Transmission
bucket.
drops. So now he's lost two of his favorite things.
Where does she kick the bucket though?
Moab.
Moab.
Oh,
He
yeah.
takes the long way down.
It's coming together.
and he
now.
stops in Moab. And who does he run into? Like on like the main streets?
Marv or Torg.
All right, so we're
Patricia.
we're actually into Act 1 here.
We're
but-
making headway.
So the conflict here is death, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll just say that. But so moving on in Act 1, so cancer of Atlas, he's traveling with his Honda. It kicks the bucket. Now he's lost everything. Everything that's associated with Vancouver anyway, because he bought that car
In
on
Vancouver,
Craigslist.
yeah.
Yeah. And then now
He got robbed in that car.
he get
He lost his V card.
and then
in
he
that
makes it
car.
to Tombstone, Arizona as a pit stop, and he gets robbed there again.
Yeah. So he's really.
Yeah.
But I should say, I think it's important that he meets someone in Moab. A little teaser. Patricia's in Moab, isn't she? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where does he meet Patricia?
At a coffee shop,
Yeah.
easily.
Because
Yeah.
he needed a cortado. He needed
Yeah.
a cortado.
He needs-
And he didn't have any money.
didn't.
And Patricia heard that he didn't have any money, so she bought him one.
Yeah.
And she was like,
She's like, where are you off to? And I'm searching. I'm just searching. But end destination is Moline, Dubuque. And
Yeah.
she's
Oh, that's where I'm going. I've got to visit my niece there.
niece.
I
for the
got a
holiday.
lovely exotic daughter.
a 6'6".
Is it her daughter or her?
No, sorry, niece.
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 Yeah.
I got a lovely
Niece.
niece who lives there. She is quite a
played
specimen
Not
basketball.
related by blood,
for the University of Northern Iowa.
Yeah, Northern Iowa.
but she's a disgraced player.
Disgraced because
Disgraced, she cheated.
She used PEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And even though she used PEDs, she only averaged like 2 points and
Yep.
3 boards a game.
She was mostly known for her fights.
Yep, she wore brass knuckles to a lot of games, broke a lot of teeth.
But this is getting Brett all worked up.
Yeah,
'cause
he's like,
wow, she sounds like a real hipster. I bet she listens to the Smiths.
she sounds like a real Morrissey fan.
Yeah.
Patricia's like, come with me. I'm heading there. Oh, what are the odds?
I need some company. But. And then Brett's like kind of hesitant, but he also doesn't have any choice because he's out of money. 'Cause
Yeah.
He got robbed. He doesn't have his car anymore.
And Patricia's a wealthy Mormon, and she's going to pay for his flight back.
right.
All Mormons are wealthy.
Yeah.
We got to focus on Torg a bit and her life and
Yeah.
Moline.
So while all this is happening, what's going on with Torg other than Marv gets
Kyle,
died?
you know Torg well, better than all of us. So, where is she? How is she?
I think, so Marv gets hit by a bus and dies.
Or just critically injured.
Critically
like
injured.
he's holed away in the hospital for the foreseeable future.
So he's definitely, he could get better, but he needs the surgery, and his estate can't afford it. So who finds out? Who gets the news about that? But Torg, and she knows that she has to do something to save her friend.
Patricia's on her way because Torg is going to be alone for Christmas. Patricia doesn't want that. So she's going to go visit her niece. And in the meantime, while they're driving down, Torg is she's starting to come alive again. She's starting to try to like save her friend. And now she's reaching out to the people that she'd been shunning outside of the diner. And they don't want to help her because, like, aren't you that bitch that won't wave at us at ever? Or
Ever.
You,
But you
don't wanna-
you're so jazzed to give us fucking pancakes.
And
on
you
a
never
Sunday.
look us in the eyes because you're 6'6", so we never like feel that you actually
Yeah,
care
and we're
about our
actually
existence.
terrified.
But they all
of
don't
you
know
and
that
the
she's
ped.
terribly farsighted, so they don't know that
They
she actually
don't.
doesn't recognize them.
And
Yeah.
they're and a lot of them are Northern Iowa fans. Like, aren't you the girl that overdosed on beaver tranquilizers?
That's exactly who she is, and that's what she got in trouble for.
Didn't you put our program on probation for all the fights you started?
But she's trying to reach out. She's trying to raise money to save Marv, who is a brain bleed at this point.
He's not doing well.
He's definitely got his entire leg, like casted up, and it's like resting at like a 75-degree angle in one of those hooks. You know what I'm talking about?
But he's just in a coma.
He's in a coma, but his leg is stuck in that
and-
position.
And each day that goes by, Torg knows that money is going up and up, and and the doctors are about to they're like, we're going to throw him out on the streets. We're going to put him in Indiana if you don't pay up.
We're going to move him to Indianapolis.
Ugh.
So that's kind of finishing our Act 1. Andrew, what happens in Act 2?
I believe Patricia and Brett make it to the homeland. They make it to God's country,
Russia?
Moline, Illinois.
Okay.
That's adjacent with Dubuque, Iowa. So
One could forget.
Not if they're listening to this podcast.
Patricia drops Brett off at his parents' place, and they have a lovely, colonial 2-story home. One garage, basketball goal's been there since the 90s, hasn't been touched. They drive a Honda Pilot and a Toyota Sienna, and that's out front. There's snow on the ground. And, Brett gets there and he's all mopey and stuff. He's like, "Hi, Mom." And she's like, "Oh."
But I would say even before he gets out of the car, Patricia's dropping him off.
Yeah.
They've had this bond experience.
Yeah, we can't throw that away. You're right.
Yeah, and Patricia's like, you know what? And Brett's poured his heart out to this woman. It's the first time he's ever really connected with somebody.
Yeah, they talked a lot.
Yeah. She looks at him as he looks all mopey, looking out the window, about to take this walk to his parents' house. And she's like, you know what? If you want to come to my house for Christmas dinner, your family's welcome.
Yeah.
I know it's just me and my niece, my tall, sexy niece, who can block a shot.
I wanted to touch upon their little road trip to Moline, just a few tales, a few little connections.
Yeah, give me some connective tissue here.
Yeah,
I
so
can bridge it.
Patricia and Brett have to travel across the country to get back to the heartland. They don't really know each other. Patricia gets upset at Brett because he smokes too much.
Cigarettes?
Yeah, but he does his own rolled cigarettes. He does
Naturally.
natural
Doesn't
tobacco.
he also use a pipe too?
Yep. So
cherry tobacco?
She didn't like that, but Brett reminded her of her father. because her father had a big beard and smoked from a pipe. So she didn't mind it, and she told him that. She's like, it's fine. You know, my father used to smoke around us all the time. I like you. I respect you. You're bold. You don't shy away from what you like and what you want.
It's the same thing as my niece. My niece loves to smoke from a pipe.
Yeah, and she mentioned that.
Torg
that.
definitely is a pipe smoker.
And she also likes listening to the Smiths.
Yeah, loves the Smiths. And, of course, Brett, he's a big Smiths guy. Big Morrissey fan. But they're, like, you know, halfway through. They're probably in, like, Nebraska or something like that. And they got to stop in town to get some gas. And it's like a one-stop town. And there really isn't, like, there's a gas station, but it's like a single self-serve pump. And Patricia was like, I'll get out and do this. And Brett's like, no, I got to do this for you. You're driving the entire 22 hours or whatever it is. So you sit in there. And
he brandishes a gun.
No, while he's, you know, pumping gas, he takes out his knife and starts whittling to sharpen it, you know, because that's what you do. But Patricia, again, is just once struck by this manly man who deep down is very insecure and hates himself and everyone in the world. But to her, he's a man's man, and it's respectable, and it's a likable quality. So Patricia doesn't necessarily develop a crush on him, but she has a soft spot
So
for
what's
him.
the age gap?
Oh, like 30 years.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, like Patricia's like...
And she also sees Brett
65.
as this tough cookie to crack, but there's a soft center in
Oh, there's
there
a
somewhere.
nougat on the inside.
He's hearing a lot about this Torg character.
Yeah.
And
He's just intrigued. You know, I think he's like, very interesting, but
smokes
probably
her own
not
pipe.
good enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, probably doesn't necessarily meet my expectations, but I like what I see. Smith's fan, loves to smoke.
I've done beaver tranquilizers.
I've done beaver tranquilizers when I was in my pre-wannabe X game phase in northern Vancouver.
Yeah. Now he
tried
just does
snowboarding.
heroin.
Dabbled.
He dabbles in
dabbled.
heroin on the weekends. So speeding it along here, because this is going to be a 4.5 hour movie. Kyle, what happens with Brett and his parents when he arrives?
So we arrive, and the parents are not happy with him because it has been a while since they've seen him.
And he hasn't responded any texts
at
or
all. He's
mails.
been very aloof and very, one would say, slightly disrespectful to his parents.
He used to write on fresh papyrus to them every month, but he stopped doing that.
Yes, and they want to know why he's been so behind on his arts and crafts that he sends them every month since he was a toddler.
Their dad owns like a
No, their dad.
a local drugstore that he's so mad that Brett's not taking over the family business.
And it's the best drugstore in the region.
Don't they
Like,
actually
it's-
have like an old drugstore, like they sell hamburgers and French fries?
Yeah,
and
they-
fucking like.
And I think the big reveal is that drugstore was recently bought out by Walgreens.
Yes.
Oh.
And his
Or
family
maybe
came into
that's-
some money.
Maybe that's exactly what happened.
and he doesn't want to give it to Brett.
No,
Yeah.
because they didn't want the money. They wanted their store.
They wanted their
And they were like, if you were here, none of this would have happened. You could have helped me run it. And instead, I got cancer.
What's in the water?
lead.
Jesus Christ.
And Patricia's here just kind of taking this in because she's right at the front of the snowy driveway sidewalk.
She was supposed to drive off, but she kind of listened in. Now she leaves now, but she got all she needed. And now she's like, I understand why Brett is
the way he is.
the way he is.
Hardened.
Hardened.
That nougat is far from reach.
So Kyle, what does Brett do? Brett leaves this house, right? He leaves this situation.
Yeah, he's done with that. He didn't need that smoke in his life.
He's leaving. He's on the prowl for a good cocktail, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe mixed with some ecstasy.
And
or
every
something.
bar he
He's-
goes into is just like PBR.
Guess whose favorite drink is PBR?
Is
You'll
it
never
Torg?
guess.
Or
Torg.
Patricia's?
Torg loves PBR.
And Patricia actually likes PBR,
So-
but we find that out later.
So, and Torg is at this bar drinking
yes.
because she's trying to drown her sorrows as
and
well.
she's wearing her old volleyball uniform that she was wearing when she got kicked
Even though
out
she
of-
played basketball.
when she get kicked out of the Saskatchewan women's soccer league.
yeah, because she went from basketball to
Volleyball
to
to
soccer.
soccer.
And in the back corner, she's got like 2 or 3 pints that she's finished, but she's playing darts by herself.
easily.
And she's very good.
She's got her pipe.
And she's tall.
He like sees her from across the bar, and he forgets everything that Patricia had said about her.
Yeah,
so
he
he
doesn't
doesn't
even-
realize. And he goes over there, and they start talking, but they start talking in that chatty way where they're like kind of flirting but hating each other at the same time. He's like, PBR, such swine.
Yeah, and then how does Torg respond to that?
She,
You 5'6" mammal.
You're worthless. You're worthless.
you're worthless.
This is good. Here, have some.
And then she
Is
made,
she German though?
You know,
He's
Swedish,
trying.
German, they're close
trying.
enough.
She
They're-
took enough
they're
beaver
just across
tranquilizers
the
that
North
changed her
Sea.
nationality.
They're across the North Sea. They inform each other.
I think they get into a little scuffle here, into an argument.
Yeah.
And I think a scuffle. No, not a scuffle, but they have words. And she finds out. He says something along the lines of like, "Well, I think PBR is for hipsters," and she goes, "Well, what are you then?" And he goes, "I don't like the way you talk." And she goes, "I could spit on you, little man." And he looks up at her.
and he's a full foot
He's
shorter.
a full foot shorter, and he realizes his folly. And I think at that point, he goes, "Well, Volvo is for sissies," and she just loses her mind.
She
bashes
grabs
him.
a pull cue.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Slams it
She
over the
snaps it.
slams
Snaps
it over
it in
the
half.
back of his head.
Yeah.
and knocks him unconscious.
Yes. So
And does she vacate the premise?
no,
No.
she sticks around.
And she nurses him
She
back.
nurses
to
him back.
health.
She
Yeah,
picks him up,
she-
carries him like a baby, which
She takes him back to her studio apartment.
He's just
It's a really shitty studio apartment.
Yeah, and
Studio
she-
sounds nice, but it's not nice.
And Brett wakes up on the in the chair, and she's like kind of nursed him back to health, and she was like, "Sorry, roid rage hits occasionally."
And he's like trying to like fall asleep because he's like,
In and out, but he's like
and
looking
she's like,
around.
you wake up.
But as he's like in and out of consciousness, he's like looking on the walls, and he sees like the Smiths posters
She's
and
got
the vinyl
records.
collection.
Yep. There's also a keg of PBR.
But in the back corner, before he passes back out, he sees a bunch of bourbon in this 10-year, 8-year bottle and bond.
yeah.
This woman knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And so he passes the fuck out again and then wakes up. And she's like apologizing to him. He's kind of like, "Go fuck yourself. You hit me in the back of the head with a pool cue."
But she offers him a nice Manhattan that she's made.
She's like, "I made you a Manhattan."
and he tastes it.
it's got elderberry in it.
and it's got real elderberry.
real from the fields
Mountains of Switzerland. Of Sweden, rather.
that were grown in Illinois.
Yes, but they came from there.
They came from there,
originally.
yeah.
And they're third generation hybrid seeds.
And she's like dabbing his head with a cold rag too,
Yeah.
so he can see like her like biceps.
He's also shirtless too.
He-
He's got some girth.
he
to
could
him.
be a rugby player.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
But he's like tasting the Manhattan, talking about how great it is, and
He's floored.
And she was like, "The
like,
reason I drink PBR is because it's the only thing I can afford."
yeah, and he
And this
goes,
bourbon collection was left to me by my great grandfather who died of cancer.
Yeah. Oh man. And
So she's gotten this inherited bourbon collection, and she's like, "I just never have anybody to drink it with."
yeah.
And so like he feels that, and he's like, "You know what? I'm really sorry for shitting on your drink of choice, the PBR, even though it tastes like pond scum."
Yeah, and they find some common ground, and then she's like, "Where did you come from, little man?" And he's like, "Well, I met this nice lady in Utah. I was going the roundabout way because I like my nature to get back home." And
Her name was Penny. Papapi?
Her name was Patricia.
Patricia.
Short woman, about 5'2".
And just as he says that, the door opens up, and here's Patricia with the groceries.
And here he is, Brett, shirtless, being nursed back to health with a Manhattan and a PBR on the side.
And I think she gets jealous in that moment.
She gets a little jealous, but also she's warm inside as well. She's like, this man that I know is incapable of loving me and vice versa, but he seems to have found some connection with the next closest thing to me, my niece. This should do the trick.
I think we head into Act 3 at that point, and we'll have to speed this up. They start kind of smitten with each other, and they tell each other the stories of Marv and his parents, and Marv are not doing so hot. I think after a while, they start like kind of hanging out during this holiday season. I think what Brett should do is, because she's having trouble connecting to the town, I know how we can save Marv. how about we make cocktails out of all this expensive bourbon and sell it on the corner?
Yes.
And
Without
then,
a liquor license.
that's where Officer Crumpkey comes in.
Oh, beautiful.
Yay.
So Brett's like going to start making all these menus and cocktails, and they're basically opening like a
It's like a
weekend
lemonade
bar.
stand.
Yeah,
on
like
the corner of
a
Moline.
weekend.
But
And he's
instead
like,
of lemonade, it's hard alcohol.
but they got string lights to put up on the the wooden paneled. Like, and what does he name it? He named it Marv's Bar. She's like, what a great idea. This will save everything. And then Officer Crumpkey shows up on the big day, the big weekend, and they're raking in money at this point. People are like, oh my God, you got a Pappy 23 year. Why are you mixing it with an old fashioned? This should be a criminal offense.
And Officer Crumpkey is like, he wants to do his job. He wants to arrest them.
He has to.
And he has to.
He goes up to him and he's like, whose alcohol is this? Do you have a liquor license? And fucking Torg sells him out. Torg's like, it's his. And it was his idea. So Crumpkey like goes to put the handcuffs on him, and Brett is fighting. He's like looking at he's looking at Torg, and he's like, I can't believe you sold me out like that. He was falling in love with this woman, and now she's saved herself. And so Crumpkey thinks he's fighting with him, so he tases him.
Yeah. and then Crumpkey takes him back to the jail cell.
Right.
And it's just him and Crumpkey in the jail cell. There's no secretary.
Wait, he got in the jail cell with him, or he's just on the outside?
He's on the other side.
He's going to the jail cell, and Brett's like, I guess I need to get bail and all this stuff, and I guess this is going to be a year probation. And he's like, no, sir. Do you know where you are, Illinois, selling liquor without a liquor license? That's a 19-count felony right there. You're going to prison for 23 years.
Yep. I think Brett starts like singing some songs. Just like he's just
Some Christmas music.
Some Christmas music.
Some Smith's covers of Christmas music.
Yeah, but then he also like kind of devolves into more of like a Tin Pan Alley era. Like, some like Frank Sinatra and like Bing Crosby. And Crumpkey's like, I kind of like this.
What? Yeah.
And Crumpkey, I think Crumpkey starts to join him, and then like they stop. Like, we shouldn't be doing that.
Kyle, take it from here. I want to hear
You know where this is going.
So they start singing together,
And
then Crumpkey goes, I think I've been too harsh on you. I think I'm starting to see why you did what you did. You just want to help people, right? And he says, you're damn right, officer. So then Crumpkey surreptitiously absconds with him.
And they do like a whole like song and dance routine. Like, I'm talking like
it's around
it breaks into a musical.
Make them laugh from like, singing
make
the
them laugh, make them
Moses
laugh.
Supposes. They're doing flips
Yes.
and like tap dancing all over
And
the jail room.
but then it bleeds to the outside.
And they take the town
They
by
take
storm.
the town by storm. They do everybody, and they start. It's almost like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast, when
Yeah.
she's like, "Hello."
And Officer Crumpkey, he's a cop, but we know that he has a very strong musical side to him. So he
does.
is just taking this
does.
in all his power and just fucking letting it all out.
And he goes over to his desk drawer. He's like, look at what I found. And he pulls it out, and it's a liquor license.
He does.
Yep.
And he's like, let's go save Marv.
And they're going through some neighborhood towns and streets, and whose house do they go by but Brett's parents? The parents see it. And they see this different Brett who's doing the Charleston and doing all sorts of batmas and kicks and singing his lungs out.
And he's still being creative,
He's
just
being
in a
very
physical
creative.
sense.
Yes. And that changes the parents' view on everything. And they go out and they stop the whole musical. And him and his parents have a very tender moment together right there in the snowy streets of Moline. And they're like, Brett, this new side of you, this creative side to you, we thought it was dead. But you've got the whole town in your back. People are singing and dancing, and we want to let you in on the fortune.
And then it goes back and it flash forwards, and Torg is kicked open police station, and she's got a 12-gauge Mossberg shotgun. And she's ready to take that place by storm, but everyone's gone.
And there's no cameras there, so luckily nothing
Nothing will
was
happen
Yeah.
to her.
So
but
she
definitely is wearing a trench coat, though.
But she goes over
and big
and
boots.
So she goes over and leaves an envelope of money on the desk, and she was like trying to bail Brett out
Yeah.
at the end of the day by force. Apparently,
By force. I would take my money or else.
They get back to the police station, and they see that lump of money, and there's the note from Torg, and they're like, "Oh, we have to get back to her to make this right." In a sense, they drive back to the little alcohol stand they have there on the corner, and she's sitting there, shotgun by her side. She got her trench coat and boots on. You can tell she's flustered and angry. And the cop car pulls up. Sirens are turned off. And who steps out but Brett? And he just kind of stares at her. And Krumke steps out, puts his hand on his shoulder, and it kind of lets the people know, Torg especially, that things are okay. And what does Torg do but starts to cry?
She cries in front and she starts sobbing.
And she was like, the only reason I came here is because my family owns Walgreens and they bought a local drugstore out. And Brett starts to connect the pieces that she didn't want it as much as like his family didn't want it. And now she's an outcast from her family like he was. And that's the connecting pieces.
And that's all they wanted to do. They just wanted to see each other.
But Brett's like, here's the they finish up with Officer Krumke over here, like singing. They sell all this alcohol, make all the money to save Marv.
And now that he's in on his family's fortune, they can for sure sell Marv. Or not sell, save Marv.
Sell Marv.
You can
sell Marv
but they
parts.
save him first.
His dad comes in and goes, I'll take one Manhattan, and pumps down like $2,000. And
no,
then,
it's a check for like $1.5 million.
Yeah, it's like something ridiculous. They end up saving Marv. Brett and Torg are outside of the hospital where everyone's singing Christmas carols to Marv, who's still unconscious at the time.
Still unconscious.
Hasn't woken up yet.
Yeah, but they're all decorating his room with Christmas. Brett's like, I gotta go. I just can't do this. And he breaks Torg's heart because Torg wants him to stay. And that's where he goes to the airport.
And then at the airport, he's checking in because Patricia had bought his flight home. He's at the gate, and Brett gets a call from the main, what do you call it, the flight attendant who is in charge of the gate back to Vancouver, wherever he's going. And she's like, sir, do you have an international call? And Brett's like, what? How do you know? How do you know? It's for me. And she was like, do you know a man named Atlas? And his heart drops. And she hands him the phone. And what does Atlas tell him?
Atlas tells him, I've been cured.
I've been cured.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. And he was like, what are you up to tonight? And he's like, on my way back to Vancouver, I danced around my hometown. I was arrested for selling alcohol without a liquor license. I broke the heart of a tall Norwegian girl, and now I'm fleeing it all.
She started from Finnish to Swedish to
whatever
to
the
Norwegian.
And then you see the phone get taken from him and hung up on the receiver, and it's Torg. And she just goes, where are we going? And they embrace in this giant kiss.
He says, where are you going? He goes, nowhere, baby. And he pulls her down from the lapel and like pulls her in, and she puts her hand like right behind his head, and she just like eats his face.
Yeah. But to predate that, to give a little foreshadowing, before Torg hung up, Atlas told Brett that he was making a mistake and he was not fulfilling his creative endeavors. And that's when Torg grabbed the phone and hung up. And she was there.
And that wraps it up. Look
Yeah.
at that. I did not think that was going to come out like anywhere close to like
It's pretty fucking good.
legible at all. So that's it. That is our Hallmark movie. What does everybody think? What's
What's
the
the name
title?
of it?
Yeah, what's the title of this movie, Kyle?
Tasty dog.
Andrew, do you have a better name than that?
I think it should be something. Well, it's got to be something.
It's got to be something simple, but yet stupid.
Found in Moline or something lame
that's
like
fun.
that. Found in Moline. That's still we're still off.
Or it's got to be something with Atlas. Searching for Atlas.
Yeah, the Christmas Atlas or
Christmas
something.
Atlas. Yeah, there you go.
I think the Christmas Atlas in Moline.
Moline's Christmas Atlas.
There we go. That's it.
Or anyway, what should we name this masterpiece of a film?
Yeah, comment.
Yeah,
Or don't.
let us
But
know.
Please comment.
And also, if Hallmark executives are listening right now, we will take that Hallmark money and we can pump these out all day, right, Andrew?
Oh, yeah. We could do this again next week.
Yeah.
We could do it the week after that. We could do it every single day till the end of December.
You could lowball our pay all day long.
Yep.
Kyle's used to working for peanuts.
I work for peanuts.
Well, that's it for this episode. Please let us know how our movie turned out, and also, what should it be called? We hope that you have a wonderful holiday, and we'll see you around next time.